And we'll just sort of start talking, and then I'll
I
cut
love
it
it.
appropriate. So what does BuzzLogic bring to Katie Payne and Partners customers?
Well, what we bring is really 3.5 years of technology developed around finding the influencers in blogging and other social media on a certain topic. So we've built a technology that is able to look at all the conversations that are going on out there in the blogosphere and beyond in social media, and find the people who are driving conversations on certain subjects, and then offer them up through an interface which you can access online. So that's the basics of BuzzLogic and what we bring to Katie Payne.
So if a client says to me, how do I know which blogs to go after and which blogs are important, you're pretty much providing that answer.
That's right. We actually rank those blogs based on the subjects that they're talking about. And it's pretty interesting how we do it. We look at how credible a blog might be on a subject. So, we know that Katie Payne writes on measurement and has been a visionary for measurement for a long time, because you're able to gather audiences each time you write on the measurement subject. Whereas if you wrote on construction of a new house, you might get a little bit of your audience interested in that, but you wouldn't maybe have the same credibility as you would on the measurement topic. So BuzzLogic is able to look at Katie Payne's blog and other blogs around that subject and actually rank them kind of like a people rank in the order of who's most influential on the subject.
And what else can I do with the information?
Well, that's a great question. Besides access the list so that you know who you might prioritize to engage first, you can actually do advertising to those blogs which are available for advertising. So something we've been very excited about, in something that we launched at AdTech in November last year, we call conversation targeting. So this idea of being able to not only find the most influential blogs, but target them for advertising as the conversation about a certain subject happens, is exactly what we're doing within the BuzzLogic application. So imagine if you're able to find the most influential blogs on measurement and you have a measurement product to sell. You probably want your advertisement right there on the blogs that are most influential as the conversation is happening. And that's something you can do automatically in BuzzLogic now. So it's something that nobody else has really brought to the table so far. This idea of advertising in social media is still pretty new, and in content in particular is pretty challenging, and what we're doing is bringing a way to do it at the most influential points in a conversation about a really specific topic.
Well, and it goes back to really sort of being there when the customers are looking for you, rather than blanketing the world out there.
And hoping you can find the people who are looking for that bit of information. It's marketing's been a pretty backward science from our perspective for a while, and we're kind of turned it on its ear a little bit, where we're finding those influential conversations and we're finding the people leading them, and that just changes the whole game in terms of where you can get an ad to perform better. Kind of common sense, but it's been a tough approach because the technology behind finding the conversations and then isolating the influencers while it's happening. So this is a dynamic thing. Conversations are taking shape, and as you write a blog post and maybe post this little video snip, some people might link to it, comment on it, and the meme about the discussion may expand. And so BuzzLogic is looking at that and picking up those pieces of content and then re-ranking the conversation, people in the conversation, to say, well, now go advertise over here in real time as people are paying more attention to certain pieces of content. So it's just a different way of getting your message out there than doing that mass media buy that you described just a second ago.
Well, and it's also deciding which conversations you can be part of. With 80 million blogs out there, you don't want to be part of all those conversations. How do you decide what to be part of?
It's such a good point, and I think that's one of the reasons why, there's been as much trepidation as there's been around participating in social media. It's, wow, I'm just overwhelmed with the sheer volume of content. Kind of like, when desktop publishing started in the 90s, it was, everybody and their dog wanted to kick off a website, and of course, online advertising followed shortly thereafter, and kind of the same phenomenon happened. It was, we need to get a grasp on which parts of the web are actually effective at advertising, and we're doing the same thing with social media right now. And it's even harder because generally, as a blogger, you write on different things, right? can't always write about measurement. You want to write on other interesting things too, and that's not always the same with the traditional publishing model. It's different. You know, there's a little more specialization. So we have to do some real tricky things to find these influencers and to make them available to our customers so they can do the outreach and the engagement. You know, once our partnership ranks, you know, who is most influential and the sentiment of what they might be saying, so that outreach can begin, you can imagine a follow-on, which is, you know, let's advertise on those blogs too.
Exactly. Great. Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. Thank you.